Welcome back. This is the Daily Brief. A developing story right now is that the county police commander Hassan Abdi in Kisii County has confirmed that 8 students from the Kisii High School who were captured by CCTV cameras leaving the dorm moments before it burnt down have been arrested. Let me just read out that again. 8 Kisii High School students captured by CCTV cameras leaving the dorm that burnt down have been arrested. That is according to County Police Commander Hassan Abdi. We shall keep you up to speed as you continue to follow the ongoing cycle of schools unrest. But in the meantime, the Select Senate Committee that is probing the Solai Dam is giving an update through its chairperson there, that is Senator Mutula Kilonzo Jr. Let's listen in.
And for this committee, they wanted to make sure that the officials of national government leave site when we were investigating the matter. So we have recommended at an interim that the CS must suspend the national government officials who have been seen to participate in a partisan manner in the question of Solai, because we do not understand how the county commissioner and his officers can be the ones dishing payout on behalf of the owner of the dam, while the same government is the one investigating the owners of the dam. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chairman. I also want to sincerely thank the media. I think you have done quite some justice since our last discussion here on this matter. It has received the prominence it deserves in honor of those who did not deserve to go the way they went, and those who are still hurting in Solai. This particular investigation on Solai represents more than just Nakuru County. It represents more than just victims of the flood. It represents an end to the culture of impunity, the culture of state capture by wealthy individuals, and it represents the beginning of true justice for Kenyans who cannot speak for themselves, for Kenyans who for a long time have felt that there is one law for the rich and a different law for the poor. And that is why, as a committee, we have resolved to be unrelenting on the issue of bringing to book and ensuring there is justice that is served in this issue. As the chairman has said, it is really sad for us to have noted, because the committee visited Solai and saw what is happening on the ground, that the same people representing the state who are supposed to be protecting Wananchi are the ones who have been dishing out money on behalf of Patel, getting the victims to sign indemnity so that there is no liability on the part of the dam owners. And that's why we are saying that even as the work and the investigation goes on, we must have those people stepping aside and not being in office as this continues, because they are able to interfere with the investigations, to intimidate the locals, and to affect the outcome of this process. As we move along, and as we've discussed here, I am trying to persuade the committee, and I'm also persuaded personally, that even as a criminal suit is going on the criminal charges of manslaughter and murder etc., whatever is currently before the courts, either as a committee, and we'll have our legal team advisors, or as individuals, I am ready to go to court on behalf of not just the people of Solai, but all Kenyans who suffered similar injustice. The Kenyans who are victims of building collapse in Nairobi, the Kenyans who are victims of the fire in Gikomba, to go to court and file class action suits, so that they get sufficient compensation. And as used to be said on Vioja Mahakamani, iwe funzo kwa wengine wenye tabia kama hiyo, that in this country you will no longer get away with a casual, look at the law, that you think that laws that we have in this country are just suggestions, and we have law books to tell you, you can do this, if you don't want to do this, leave it. That, oh, you want to have a dam, it is suggested, it is advisable that you get a license, but also if you don't want to get a license, it is okay. You want to build a building, you need to get approval, but if you don't feel like getting approvals, just build. That must stop. We have laws in place so that we save lives. So kwa hivyo tumesema ya kwamba hawa watu lazima kama hawatajiuzulu waambiwe watoke kutoka hizo nyadhifa ambazo wamezishikilia, tukianzia county commissioner na naibu wake, wale ambao wamedaiwa kuwa ndio wanapeana pesa za Patel kwa wananchi wa Solai, wale ambao wamewaambia waweke sahihi documents ambazo zinasema ya kwamba hawatamstaki Patel na hawamdai chochote, kama wamepokea hiyo 1,100 ama 1,300-1,400. Kuna wafanyabiashara wamepatiwa 1,000,000. Tumesema hao maafisa wa serikali na serikali ambayo imeenda kotini hawafai kuwa hapo wakati upelelezi unaendelea. Ya pili, tunajadiliana hapa ni njia gani, hata kama kuna ile kesi ambayo iko mbele ya mahakama, kesi ambayo ina Patel na watu wa Warma na officers wa county wako kotini, ambao ni kesi unasemaje, criminal hata mna jina jinai, criminal case ambayo inaendelea. Tunafikiria ni njia gani tutapeleka kesi ambayo itahakikisha ya kwamba hao walioadhirika wanapata fidia ya kutosha, na pia yule funzo kwa wengine. So tutatafuta tuchange kama hatuwezi kuwa supported na nyumba hii, mimi mwenyewe nenda kotini. Na najua wakili wangu, niko na wakili kali sana anaitwa Mutula, ambaye atawasilisha kesi kotini kuhakikisha Wakenya wanyonge, wale wa Solai, wale wa Gikomba, wale wa Huruma wanaweza kupata fidia, na hao mabonyenye ama hao matajiri ambao wanafikiria kwamba kuna sheria yao na kuna sheria nyingine ya maskini, watajua kwamba Kenya inabadilika na tuko na Kenya ambayo tuko na haki kwa kila mtu. Asante.
I think mine is brief. I think I want to echo the words of the chair and Senator Sakaja that we're here to pursue justice. This is a kind of liberty that we want to be seen to be fighting for. The people of Solai deserve justice. And this gives this government an opportunity to be able to make right what appears to be wrong. It is very sad when the CAS appears here and seems to be completely oblivious to the fact that there is a lot of things going around to be able to circumvent the rule of law, to a point where even the president himself, like what the chairperson had said, has chosen to give money to Red Cross to be able to ensure that those people are compensated, shows that he does not trust the investigation being carried out. So we want to assure the people of Solai that we're here in this committee to ensure that they get justice. That is what we are after. We're not after anything else. We want...
The Senate Select Committee probing the Solai Dam tragedy has recommended that the Interior Cabinet Secretary sees through the firing of the top security leadership in Nakuru County for claims that they are actually working with the very individuals being investigated in this, and further dishing out money to the residents of that particular area, a claim they have found to be true since they say they actually visited that particular area. Let me now just get reactions from my panel. And gentlemen, you might want to recall what was revealed by the Water and Sanitation Cabinet Secretary, that this particular dam was actually operating illegally. But before I get your reaction, starting from Joel there to Steve, actually I'll start with Gakuya. Information reaching us right now, like I'd mentioned to you, is that 8 students from the Kisii High School have been arrested after they were captured by CCTV cameras leaving the dormitories which were touched down last night. This has been confirmed by the area county commander. We shall keep you up to speed. Now, Gakuya, let's react to what the Senate Select Committee is saying here. Apparently, according to them, the top security management in Nakuru County have been compromised by the dam owner and have been dishing out money on behalf of the Solai dam owner. Your thoughts on that?
Ian, one is that, in fact, what we need to understand is immediately he becomes a victim, and especially like the victims of that particular Solai dam. After that particular incident, these people become beggars. And let me tell you, as such a beggar who had what we call a maisonette house, or whether it was a sanit or what, but a particular house to live, actually becomes as somebody who can be able to, somebody seeking refuge somewhere else. To me, I would say this. What the Senate committee should do is to emphasize that, in fact, there could be at least a better compensation. But they cannot condemn those who received the cash. Because
but their issue here is that it is security officers.
The element of compromise. The element of compromise. Yeah. There was an issue with the two members of parliament accusing each other. There was the Bukia member of parliament who was accusing Kimani Ngujiri interfering with his constituency during this compensation period, because the member of that particular constituency was never given an opportunity, was never informed that there was such a kind of event taking place. So in this particular matter, I would say money might have at least taken its route, and I don't want to dwell with that too much, because I have no evidence.
Now, they have given Interior Cabinet Secretary, Dr. Fred Matiang'i, until Tuesday to see through the firing of these officials, should that happen.
Let me tell you, once you recommend such a kind of recommendation that, in fact, people should be fired, you must give clear evidence how these people get this particular cash. You cannot just blame somebody just without any pegging facts.
Okay.
You must, Ian, I can condemn you that actually when I was in this panel, I left 100,000 with you. But if nobody saw that particular kind of inducement, there's no single evidence that actually have taken anything like a cut. So therefore, let us not blame people without fair listening and evidence. They should listen to these people, and at least this committee should be fair to everybody.
So in the defense of the Senate committee, they have been probing quite a number of individuals, including traveling to the ground, and that is why this is their topmost recommendation. What do you make of that?
You know, Ian, I respect our laws. A recommendation from Senate committee, we need to look at the law. What does it say? And where does that recommendation go? And what powers does the Senate has to order the cabinet secretary to fire somebody? Do they have those powers in the first place? If it is just a recommendation does not mean it must be done. They are just recommending. And Kenyans may listen to the committee and say, wow, our Senate is working and so will be fired. Then tomorrow they see the same person in the office and they will be disappointed. Why? Because for this person to be removed from the office, the due process for the law must be followed. Number one, if somebody alleges somebody was given money, then you have to prove that. And unless proven guilty by the court, you cannot hold that person liable. I am not defending anybody. I am saying that the due process of the law must be followed before anyone, even the Senate committee or even the Parliament committee, pronounce themselves, we have fired you, or we want you to be fired, or you want to... It's a good wish. Okay. But if the law could be followed, let us know who received money from who and why and when and for what.
The specific details.
And let us get the specific and let us have credible evidence, not just pronouncement. I would call this just a political and a PR exercise.
Okay. Steve.
I think, I don't want to speculate, but let me just say that I think what we want to see is justice for the lives, the victims of Salai Dam, incident. And, for me, I've had people talking about compensation, for given to these victims, families of the victims of Salai Dam tragedy. And for me, I don't think, for me, justice is not compensating, giving compensation to these families. Justice for me is about, let investigations be done, evidence presented before the court, and then those found guilty, let them face the law, even if it means them going to jails. Let them go to jail and rot in jail.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Let's now cross over to Mombasa, where NARC Kenya party leader, that is Martha Karua, is addressing a gathering by the Institute of Public Accountants of Kenya, ISPAC. Talk about other issues, including governance as well as the war on graft. Let's listen in to part of her statement right now.
There are things you can do alone. I said your personal sphere. There are things we can do in an organized manner. There are things we can do within our professional spaces and within other spaces we occupy in society. Let us be strategic about the actions we take, and if you choose to offer yourself for leadership, look for allies. If it's within your profession, you'll need champions. If it's within a constituency, whether a ward, whether a county, whether a country, look for allies. You can't do it alone. No presidential candidate can be able to successfully campaign in the 210 constituencies alone. You've got to have a network. And it's not just your party. You've got to identify people loyal to you who will help or with whom you share a common interest. Could be an MP running an MCA with whom you join hands and you push the agenda together. It is not difficult. It's about you making the decision. And about money. Politics, our politics has become completely monetized. When I first ran, it wasn't about money. I needed money, yes, to go to the few harambes I did, and those days contributions were modest. And I must tell you that my profession, not necessarily the women, but everybody, the lawyers that we used to be active with, supported me very robustly. Anytime I got a Harambe card, I would send like 20 cards, everybody giving me 500. That gives me 10,000, and I will look like a tycoon because the leaders of those days were giving 4,000. So you can be supported. We can leverage numbers, and small monies become big monies, and you contribute something you don't feel. But we do not always rally around one another. I don't remember, other than a small circle of friends, many women rallying behind me. Initially, when I said I was running for president, I had many. But as the patriarchal campaign took over and buried ours, women also disappeared along with others. You see? And they listened to the narrative that was there. As the patriarchal press was saying, she's okay, but she can't win, you'll be wasting your vote. How else does one win other than that one vote, one aggregated? How are you wasting by making your choice? But people listen, and it comes to be. Kenya is not ready for a woman president. Where had Kenya met in a general meeting? Under what tree? And where had they said they would rather a living male? You understand? But we fall for it, even as professionals. And it's not just about women, even about two candidates, male candidates. A good one who upholds our values in the Constitution, another one who doesn't. You will see all of us sometimes queuing behind the one who is deficient. So it is a choice we are making, and I'm asking you to get engaged. Today, it requires a lot of money, but you can choose not to use that money. Use a longer time campaigning, engaging your constituency and showing them that that money they pay for with suffering for how many years? Our society was not always the way it is. We used to campaign without money. My first budget for the entire campaign was not more than 600,000 in 1992. It may have been something like 3 million today, but it was enough. Even for my second campaign. My third campaign, it went higher because of polling in the polling stations. You know, counting in the polling stations, you need agents. But even then, it was a modest budget of 2 million. That's in 2002. Wait for 2007, when the then opposition ODM had more money than us in PNU. It made now people think once you declare, it's like a bag of money is given to you to distribute. And if you are not distributing, unakataa na nini? We have to reorient our people again for politics to be possible in this country. So I'm asking you not to fear. You can also engineer change. And you have that chance. Finally, so that I am not here, I want to challenge you also to vie for ISPAC chair, those who feel called upon, and to also realize that your name, that middle name of a woman, is not deputy, so that they think that they are...
Guest speaker at the Institute of Public Accounts of Kenya, a conference happening in Mombasa, is NARC Kenya Party leader Martha Karua, just emphasizing on the kind of challenges women in leadership go through and the expense it has, politics has come with, especially during campaigns. We shall react to that a little bit later, but for now we're taking a short commercial break so we also react to other stories that are making headlines at this hour. Stay tuned.